This is the Player 4 Podcast. Join us each week as we talk about video games, entertainment, and pop culture, and bring in guests from the Rooster Teeth community. Player 4 has entered the game. Hello and welcome to the December December edition of the Player 4 Podcast.
Already off to a great start.
I'm always off to a great start. Hello, I am Tristan, a.k.a. Chakras here on the Rooster Teeth website.
I'm Alex, a.k.a. Chaos Black 21.
I'm Malachi, a.k.a. Suki Kiba.
I'm Joseph, a.k.a. Jay Dunlap, and then we have a guest who also gets to introduce themselves.
I'm Smidge. I'm Colossal Smidgen. Hi, guys.
Hello!
Hello, Smidge.
Hi!
Wait, so we have a guest and special guest, Jay Dunlap?
Yeah, we have two guests.
Oh my gosh. Again with this?
Never gonna outgrow it, Joseph.
No.
It's because we love you too much.
Oh, I just realized I added her. Malachi started the call at the podcast account, so now Smidge is in our podcast group.
I mean, we can always,
That hasn't happened for 2 years.
We're all friends here.
We're so professional.
Now she'll know all our secrets.
Yeah, she's just going to read up and be like, you guys argue a lot.
You guys seem to sometimes know what you're doing. Maybe.
Anyway.
1% of the time.
All right, so I gotta know. Colossal Smidgen, who are you and why are you here? What should I know about you?
What is your name?
What is your favorite color?
Well, my name is Colossal Smidgen, and my favorite color is purple. And I'm a cosplayer in Orlando, Florida. I like to dress up as comic book and anime and sci-fi TV show characters, and they're fun to make. I make my own costumes most of the time, and I like to dress up in them and party.
Nice. I've always wanted to do that. I've made one costume in my life. I went to a convention in Connecticut. Let's talk about me instead. I made.
Please.
I went pretty simple. There was a video game way back in the day when I was a young lad, called Killer 7 by Suda51.
Who's that?
And I portrayed the character Con Smith from that, which was a simple costume, but I tried to stay, in character the whole time. So it was a lot of fun. I got some recognition, so I thought it was a good experience. But
yeah,
I gotta say, I really admire the people who go to the extreme lengths I've seen to make amazing cosplay, especially anyone portraying. So, which has been your favorite? So, because you said anime, video games, everything comics. So, what's been your favorite one or your biggest repeat?
My favorite costume, honestly, is probably my Dragon Ball Z Super Saiyan armor or Saiyan armor that I made. It's just an original design. It's nobody actually from the show. I just used their templates and kind of made my own armor with my own colors. It kind of looks like Raditz because it's the black and the gold.
Okay, yeah, I know.
And I built it myself out of foam and just elastic bands, and it turned out to be really, really cool looking. And I'm just really proud of it. Dragon Ball Z isn't even my favorite anime. I just really liked the design.
I appreciate that.
That's really cool. Is one thing about cosplaying is it's not just looking like the character; it's being able to be recognized as the character, even with all your custom touches. Exactly.
Like with Dragon Ball Z, you can make your own Saiyan armor, and then with like World of Warcraft stuff, their armor is so intricate and so detailed that you can make it your own, and people would still understand that it's from World of Warcraft. Yeah,
as long as you make the pauldrons big enough, right?
Well, of course, with as many space as possible.
Elf ears all the way to the ceiling.
Oh yes. Mm-hmm. You want to duck under doors.
Guys, why can't I get through this? It's your ears, huh? Just duck your head a little. There you go. You're fine now.
You know what? I'm taking this couch.
So the other question is, with your cosplaying, where are the places you usually go to participate? Is it just like particular events, conventions, or just to go have fun?
Well, sometimes it's just to go have fun. Honestly, I get some groups together sometimes, and we just go and we do like group photo shoots or something like that. And then, of course, most of the time it's for conventions where you go 3-4 days sometimes and just dress up as characters. Like MegaCon is a really big one here in Orlando. And Renaissance festivals. It's not, I don't cosplay to it, but I dress up as like in costume with like fairy stuff, or you do robes.
That's still cosplaying technically.
Yeah, it's just dressing up, having fun, having a good time, looking badass.
She doesn't go as Reddit's to the Ren Fair.
No,
I've seen links. I've seen links at Ren Fair. So
there's so many links at Ren Fair. It's because he's green. Well, he's not green, but
the tunic can fit the time era, or I should say, the era they're from.
Yeah, I think the played out joke with Ren Fairs now is people going as Star Trek characters.
Oh yeah, Star Trek or Stormtroopers.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite Renaissance characters.
I think they're so fun.
See, I think I find that or at least I've heard the stories of the Star Trek costumers showing up at just about anything because they can explain, temporal rips and whatnot for being there. Doctor Who, I bet is the same.
Oh yeah, all the doctors always show up at Ren Fair.
One of my favorite cosplays was an original creation. It was, not mine, but someone else's original creation, which was Steampunk Boba Fett. And then also Lady Fett was another good one.
Mm-hmm.
Lady Fett.
That's really interesting. I've never seen a Steampunk Boba Fett. That's awesome.
Like, if you Google Steampunk Boba Fett, that's him. Like, there's only one guy who really is known for it.
Cool.
And he's taken pictures with famous cosplayers at conventions, and they're just as elated to see him.
That's awesome.
And he wears a kilt, and he's got an awesome red beard and stuff. Biased, I suppose.
No way! That's badass.
Kilt Boba Fett?
Kilt's a Fett.
Boba Kilt.
It's a Fett.
We're gonna find one that works.
Yeah.
Eventually.
So Kyle, what do you think's been your most like outlandish, like way out there kind of cosplay that you've done?
My most outlandish. I'm gonna go with probably my Wonder Woman armor. Only because it was my first time ever using foam as a medium to make cosplay armor. And it took me forever to make it just because I wanted to make sure it was right. I had to redo the boots and the corset like 5 times because I was learning how to do it. And it just took the longest, and I put the most time into it and the most effort because I wanted it to really look good. And then in the end, I think it looked awesome. And I felt so cool when I was wearing it because, I'm Wonder Woman. It was so fun.
I'm looking at it. You did a dang good job. All the detail that you put into it and just all your stuff. I really, it was interesting to me, your Venom cosplay with all the paint. That had to take a lot of work and a lot of time to get like that tongue and all that, correct?
Yeah, that was one of my friends who did that. She was practicing her body painting. Mm-hmm. And so we did a collaboration together where I would show off her work if she would do it on me. But she's just super talented with all of that stuff. And it took her a good amount of time. It was like 3 or 4 hours.
Wow.
And she put like tissue paper on me and did the latex stuff. It was so weird. And it felt weird. It was fun. I liked it.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I'm jealous. I've always wanted, like I said, to do it. I just haven't.
You just haven't?
I just haven't. I literally just haven't.
You got to. Stop making excuses. If you want to do it, do it.
What was your... was that also the Wonder Woman was the most challenging one to do too?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I haven't done... Ooh, the one I'm working on right now is probably even harder. I'm working on Mara from the Justice League. And I sewed her bodysuit, and then I'm making all the armor myself. And I am not good with a sewing machine, so that bodysuit took forever. Still working on it.
Sewing machines are tricky.
You're probably better than me at the sewing machine, though.
I sure hope that I know at least something.
Yeah, Tristan, you know how much I love Fairy Tale. The cosplay, I'd love to be able to cosplay Natsu at some point.
That's
actually so cool.
Relatively easy, I believe.
Yeah, I it's a good. It's a good starter. I think if I at some point delve into it,
Better put up or shut up now, Malachi.
What?
You said it was so easy.
That'll be easy. No, I could do that.
Well, I've done one cosplay, and do the inner lining of a coat is a pain in the freaking.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But he did one cosplay, so he knows everything.
No, I do not.
Well, of course.
But based on what you can kind of get a judge of what you're dealing with by the character's look, and like I did. I spent a lot of time trying to pick out the components, trying to get the right color for it. I did Virgil from Devil May Cry.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah, that coat was a freaking pain in the woohoo.
Oh, yeah.
The woohoo.
Yeah, that would be really hard.
Good job, Malachi. You know we don't have a bleep sensor on live.
Are we Minecraft villagers now?
So yeah, I've only had one experience in cosplaying. I've always wanted to do more. My biggest thing I've always been dying to do, but never got around to it, because one thing I don't know what kind of medium I want to use for it, and what would be a plausible, cost efficient one. Is I've always wanted to do Wing, the actual mobile suit. Wing Zero.
No, Quantum. That would be so cool.
Yeah.
I have no idea how to make that, but it would be cool.
I've seen some that were okay, but I wanted to some of the ones and you look at the cosplays in Japan and stuff, and it's just why isn't that here? I want to see that.
The stilts, the people who wear stilts to make the bigger and bigger costumes. That's so cool.
Good luck getting into doors there, Malachi.
you gotta transform and roll in.
I'll probably be sitting there holding a mirror, a selfie stick with a mirror on it, so as I walk through doors, I can watch either side of myself. Am I gonna clear it? Yeah, I'm good.
Clear.
Or have
I don't know. I think I've already seen the best Gundam cosplays, which usually consist of a cardboard box with the word Gundam written on it.
Well, of course, it's still better.
Yeah, isn't that the Metal Gear cosplay?
Yeah.
I mean, I did that once. I had the cardboard box with the slit cut in it. I actually found that that was Kineticon 2008 or 9. 2009, I think it was. And somebody had posted, just video of them walking around the convention online, and somebody sent me an email, sent me a link to this in an email. And at first I was not sure why, and then they said, well, go to 15 minutes or whatever, and you could see on the escalator the box going up. I'm like, wait, is that me? That is me. That's me.
That's awesome.
I'm in a box.
That's me. I'm the box.
It looked exactly as silly as you imagine.
Now, if only they had edited, if only they could have edited then people as they pass by you with the exclamation point above their head.
I did have pictures, because I had my friends and I who went around, and there were pictures of, because there were other people who were cosplaying as the soldiers from Metal Gear Solid, and one of them did have the exclamation point attached to himself. So I got a picture with him.
That's awesome.
It was so long ago, 2009.
How many conventions? So on the word of conventions, how many of each has each one of us been to? Just a rough estimate. I've been to about 5 myself.
Okay, Malachi. Good job.
Pat on the back, Malachi. Way to go.
Nice.
Okay, you guys up.
I mean, 2 Comic-Cons.
Yeah, I've only been to RTX 3 times now. So
no, that's not true.
4 times? Oh wait, well, okay, 3 times as Guardians, 5 times as just total.
2 more times on top of that as an attendee. So that's 5 right there. Then I went to Kineticon 3 or 4 times, and I've been to PAX East 3 times.
That's so cool. I'm so jealous.
I live in Massachusetts, so I can go to PAX East really easily.
That's awesome.
And Kineticon was just, a 2-hour drive away-ish, so we went to that a lot when I was in college.
Ooh.
Yeah.
There was a year before I had 2 kids that I went to 2 different Comic-Cons in Texas. Just I did Austin, and then I did Dallas, and Dallas was rough because we were in a parking garage in the heat of May, Texas. Which is really hot in Texas, for about 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I was in full steampunk garb.
I think I've seen the pictures of you and your wife in that parking garage.
No, that was the one that didn't suck. That was the one. That was Austin. That was where we literally parked our car.
I see.
Yeah, and that was where we both went. And I went as a crazy steampunk inventor with I put goggles over my face and then did black hairspray over my face and then pulled the goggles off my eyes. And then you could see an explosion had gone off.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And
then, Alex, why don't you bring this kind of energy to the podcast?
Well, okay, I guess you found my replacement.
Alex could be the Smidge of the group. That's cool.
Oh my god!
No, he didn't.
Oh. And then Gina was she was steampunk as well, but she also was kind of going for a Guild Wars 2 what was it?
Yeah,
the Inventors engineer, because they both played engineers. So she had 2 pistols and a special hat and a coat. And the coat I bought for my steampunk cosplay, I wear in cold weather now, and people are like, "Nice coat."
Sweet.
Yes, it is.
Then I walked up to the dean
for this, of course.
I think Tristan will appreciate this one since we talk a lot about my job. So I was walking past the dean of the music department, and he looked at my coat and said, "I have the real one."
What?
I guess he has an actual real fur coat or something. I'm not sure what he meant by that, but I just sort of looked at him and he started laughing. My dean's kind of a troll.
Oh, is he now?
Yeah, kind of like me. So, talking about conventions.
It must be Trolls of Dean Lap.
Yes. No, wait. You can't combine my title with my name.
No, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work as well as Trolls of Punlap.
Until Joseph becomes the dean, it doesn't work.
No, please don't do that to me. I have my hands full already. All right, so I wanted to talk about video games because
yes,
Smidge has found herself in the midst of a bunch of RPG players and D&D players.
Ooh.
So let's talk RPGs.
All right.
Okay, I'm ready for this.
Tristan, ask her.
I know all about.
Did you say Tristan? Ask her.
Ask her what RPGs are.
All right, fine. I'll start. So, are you specifically asking about tabletop? Are you referring to tabletop role playing games or No, you said video game role playing games.
Yeah, video games.
Video games.
Games.
So,
the video games. I do play D&D, but I haven't found a group here that I like. So I only played it when I was in Texas. So I have way more experience with the actual video games.
There's a lot of us here in Texas.
I know up 3 people who could help you out with that.
I mean, a few of us Skype it.
A few of us Skype it. Got
that's fun.
people all over the world in our game.
Oh yeah, where's Rocco from?
Rocco's from Norway.
Oh,
that's right.
And we've got Thomas from Ireland. Anyway, you actually wanted to know about video game, or we all want to know about video game RPGs. So what's in your repertoire? What's in the wheelhouse?
All right. My first RPG that I ever played that I totally fell in love with and wanted to play video games for was Diablo 2. I was a little elementary school little girl, and my dad let me around the computer, and so I played Diablo 2.
What was the class you chose?
What a game to have a middle school girl play.
Oh yeah.
I was in middle school when I played that.
That did a good
job.
job.
I was so scared though. It was a scary game for me. I got to the first big boss, Andariel, and I was scared shitless. I couldn't walk down the hallway anymore because I was like, it's gonna get me.
I don't think I even got that far. I feel bad. I only played Diablo 2 at a friend's place because my parents were not and still are not hot on games. They think that they don't have anything good to say about video games. So I didn't end up growing up with them. So I played it at a friend's house. So I only remember for Diablo 2 starting off as a necromancer. I got to level 2. I learned Bite or Fang, it was called. I felt pretty cool. And I felt double cool because the starting town was Tristram, which is one of the original variants of my name.
Cool.
So I got a little bit cool about that. So that's my explicit memory of Diablo 2.
Well, Tristan, if you play Diablo 3, they now have the Necromancer on there, so you can relive your childhood only on a newer Diablo.
Nice, I can get all the way to level 2 and learn Bite or Fang, whatever they call it.
Yes.
Scratch, tackle, cut.
Tail whip.
I'm gonna
Tail whip.
I will HM03 you, Tristan.
No. You're gonna cut me? Is that cut?
Yeah, it's cut.
Yeah.
See, I know stuff.
It was Flash at first.
Or was it 01?
Yeah, I think it's TM01 is cut.
I just like 3 a lot. Sorry.
Okay.
I don't remember which one it is.
You're allowed to like. No, I think it's TM01.
Yeah, because maybe I'm thinking about Flash, Savior of the Universe.
High five. That was good.
Feeling that's my job.
I'm playing game.
Yeah, I never played Diablo 2. I play Diablo 3. I enjoy it. Probably my favorite RPG would probably have to be the Elder Scrolls series.
Ooh.
I like the Fallout as well, but I like the mysticism and fantasyness of Elder Scrolls.
Heck yeah, I loved playing Skyrim. That was my first PC game. Besides, that was the first PC that I bought to game. Yeah, I was getting this PC just so I could play Skyrim.
And did it live up to your expectations then?
It did. God, it was amazing.
Well, we've brought up an entire rabbit hole that's going to take up the rest of the episode now because you mentioned Elder Scrolls.
This is true.
It was a mistake, but it was a good mistake.
I actually
All right, Tristan, go.
Go! Elder Scrolls! Which faction did you choose in Skyrim?
Wow. I think I chose different ones because I started different games, but the first one that I chose, I don't remember the names at all, but the dude that you start out with, that you're escaping with, the bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I chose that one most often.
Oh, I see.
Oh, a Stormcloak we have here.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I gotta...
Barbarian.
I usually chose to go with the Imperium, but my first Elder Scrolls game had been Morrowind technically, but I'd never gotten very far. So my first true Elder Scrolls game was Oblivion. So I had kind of more fondish memories of Cyrodiil and the Empire.
Mm-hmm.
So I usually chose them. And I remember my second playthrough, I was like, all right, I went with the Imperials. I wasn't disappointed. It was a decent storyline. Let's go join Ulfric and see how things go that way. And I think I got about halfway through the game and I went, I think I'm going to go back to the Imperium now because the Stormcloaks are really super racist and I don't think I can handle it.
They really were, dude. Ooh, they hated some people. It's not okay.
Yeah, it was, it was like, I remember thinking, okay, the Empire's made some mistakes. They kind of just sort of rolled over for the Aldmeri. That I don't like that. So, the Stormcloaks don't like the Aldmeri. And they're not putting up with them. So let's go with it. And then I get there and they're like, Skyrim for the Nords. I'm like, there are other people here that are not Nords.
Nah.
And they're like, yeah, that's what sucks. I'm like, oh gosh.
Okay. Here,
gosh. I think I have something to do over in Solitude. Gotta go.
And then it's even better when you're not a Nord.
My second character was an Argonian, and they're like, Skyrim for the Nords. How do you want to help us, brother? I'm like, brother?
What?
I'm gonna go these things, if you'll excuse me. Yeah, it was, I felt a little bit bad, because it's kind of like with ESO, I feel like the experience can't be made even, because there's almost no way to view them as the good guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, clearly the Empire has made... Yeah.
Yep, definitely very bad.
Yeah, it was sad. It's like I go and I play ESO, and it's like I want to try playing for the Aldmeri. This must be a way to present the story from the point of view of the Aldmeri and see them as the heroes or something. And the first thing I find is like a document saying, "All right, we're going to move into an area. We're going to depose its ruler. We're going to take over, and we're going to make everyone believe that their life is much better now without them." I'm like, "Yep, these guys are super evil. They're irredeemably evil. I can't, even when playing for them from the get-go, I can't feel like they're the good guys. This is poor writing." I was sad about that.
It's for the people who want to play bad characters.
I have a question concerning that story.
Go for it.
Is there any way in which the overall message of the game is undermined by the actions of the characters you're supposed to support?
Undermined by the actions of the characters you're supposed to support. Message of the game.
Does the game play out like an evil campaign, you know, like in an RTS where you play the bad guys as your second playthrough? Or does it play out like you're supposed to really be on these guys' side?
I couldn't get to the end with Ulfric, but as far as I know, you're supposed to really side with them because the whole thing, the only like good thing that Ulfric and the Stormcloaks are trying to do is get the Empire and the Aldmeri out of Skyrim. And that's in itself is a decent goal because the Aldmeri are really super bad, and at this point in time, without the Septim line on the throne, the Empire has proven to be incredibly weak. So you can look at that as a good thing, but it's really hard to because they spend the whole time going, yeah, but we also want to get rid of Dark Elves, regular elves, high elves, Argonians, and everything in between.
Question: Did they want to make Skyrim great again?
They really do. They really do want to make Skyrim great again.
Oh my God, Skyrim was way ahead of its time.
Because the Dark Elves are in there stealing all the jobs.
Okay, so the reason I ask, I think Smidge is really passionate about this.
Okay.
The reason I ask is because I learned in the past year of a term I had never heard before.
Okay.
And it comes from the concept of synonarrative dissonance.
Okay, I think I can break that down with Latin.
Yeah. It's the idea of a movie's message being undermined by the way in which it's presented, or maybe a character's being undermined by the way in which they're presented. And the example given in the video that I was watching about it was Megan Fox's character in Transformers, which no one ever used as an example of anything ever before, except of a good way to end a movie with Linkin Park in a voiceover. Or an example of when Shia LaBeouf was halfway watchable, but I digress. So the character that Megan Fox played was in the script and in the way she was trying to portray her character, one thing, which was strong, independent, knew how to work on cars, had a good head on her shoulders. And then the way in which she's portrayed by Michael Bay is completely dissonant to that idea. He ogles her with the camera, so she's no longer a person, she's an object. And then when she's arguing with Sam, which I have to remind everyone, that's, in case you didn't care, Shia LaBeouf's character, right. Sam Witwicky, when she argues with him, she's framed by the camera in a weak position and off kilter to show that she is irrational.
Aha. Oh, good. I love it.
All right, way to make me hate Transformers now, Joseph.
I never heard a narrative dissonance. I liked Transformers too, guys.
I liked the first couple. Yeah, but they've just gone downhill.
Oh yeah, the balls, the hanging balls in the second one.
Yeah,
or the racist caricatures. But again, so
I would guess I would say to answer your original question, then, Joseph. Yes, to an extent. Not so poetically or artistically, though. Unfortunately, it was kind of like you're literally presented with, you have to decide who the lesser of two evils is, because on one hand you've got the Empire that rolled over to the Aldmeri, and the Aldmeri basically just want to create a classist system where they're at the top. And on the other hand, you have the Stormcloaks who don't like the Aldmeri, awesome, but also don't like anybody else. So I always end up going back to the Empire. I get.
Is it possible it was inspired by real events?
Duh.
It's entirely possible it was inspired by real events that happened 7 years later, or 6 years later.
All right, so I was bringing up synonarrative dissonance because there's an actual term regarding video games. It's the same sort of thing, where the message of the video game is undermined by the way in which you have to play it, or the way in which it's presented. And that term is ludonarrative dissonance. And it was first presented in a critique of a video game. And in that particular video game, you were constantly told that the message of the game is you can do whatever you want. It's open-ended, but you also are never going to be given the option, story-wise, to not help this one character, and he has to stay alive.
You are given the option to not help him, and he has to stay alive.
You are never given the option whether or not you're going to help him. You have to, or the story doesn't progress.
So, like all the Zelda games?
Yeah, so every other Exactly like that. So every other choice that you have is open-ended, and they tout the game in that way. But ultimately you don't have free choice.
Yeah. Free choice is an illusion.
Joseph, should we coin this segment Dunlapedia?
Dunlapedia.
I mean, if you want that to be a thing.
Should be the Dunlaptionary.
I was wondering about that, but then I was like, then people might think Pictionary, and it's not really Pictionary unless I put pictures up for some reason. And that's more work for me.
I've been sitting here just repeating to myself, ludonarrative. But isn't ludos like Greek for to learn or to teach? I know that it's used for educate, school. Luden means school.
It was coined, according to Wikipedia. Such a good college teacher. It was coined in the blog of Clint Hawking, who was a creative director at LucasArts, which at the time was Ubisoft. Now, the question is, or is it Ubisoft? I don't know. I don't care. So the question is, can you guys guess what game he was talking about? It's a theme of self-interest throughout the gameplay while promoting the opposite theme of selflessness through the narrative, which is a violence of aesthetic distance that often pulls the player out of the game.
Is it a Star Wars game?
No.
Aw.
Nice try.
I mean, back then, LucasArts was actually doing cool stuff like, Grim Fandango. There it is.
The game is BioShock.
I like BioShock.
Dang it. I was going to say Super Mario.
Yeah, LucasArts and Ubisoft definitely did all the Super Marios.
Then there's another game where the player can do everything except kill their partner, the digital NPC partner, during gameplay without upsetting the built-in narrative of the game, but they cannot kill their partner or the game can't progress. What game is that?
Fable 2. You have to do the terrible thing at the end.
Shh, spoilers.
I didn't say it.
Now, it's probably a lot of games, but the one in question here is one of the Call of Duty games.
Oh, I haven't.
Kill their Call of Duty.
Where you can't kill your partner.
Was it the dog and Ghosts?
It is COD4.
You can't kill the dog in Fallout.
Modern Warfare. So it was coined. It was first coined in 2007. And then in 2016, a researcher in University of Tokyo wrote a review of the notion of it and sort of gave his opinion on it. And that's where it kind of gained traction. So Uncharted became the flagship game for that, which is you're supposed to be a likable rogue who just so happens to also slaughter hundreds of people.
So nice.
I mean, in Bungie's Destiny, I am a likable rogue who slaughters hundreds of aliens who are supposedly trying to invade a place.
Well, there's a lot of games like that.
Places.
Fun fact, though, Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, gives you a trophy after you kill 1,000 enemies. It is called ludonarrative dissonance.
Okay. There's some there's some self-awareness in games, I guess.
So I'm done taking over the podcast, but I really
no, that
I
was
hadn't
very
talked about it
educational.
before.
I hadn't ever really given that the consideration it deserved.
So we were talking about Elder Scrolls. So you guys continue with that. You were talking about Lesser of Two Weevils.
Back to fun stuff.
Yeah, sorry guys, Professor Dunlap.
So you built your computer, Smidge, to play Skyrim. Have you played other Elder Scrolls games?
I did download the free trial of ESO on my PlayStation a few months back, and it was really cool. But I didn't like it on PlayStation, and I don't know why I haven't gotten it on the PC because I can.
Yeah, it's like $10 if you get the just stripped down base package.
Yeah,
and there's no subscription fee.
Yeah, I'm bad with sticking to each video game because I have so many on my computer. Like I have WoW, I have Heroes of the Storm, I have Diablo 3, I have this, I have that, I have this, that I'm still in the middle of playing because I want to play them all at once. I can't do it.
Plus cosplay.
Unless you get 3 computers.
And 3 smidges.
Oh,
3 smidges.
I'll just clone myself.
I don't think that.
Well, she could play 2 of them at least.
The world's not ready
2
for
hands.
Multiples of any of us.
But
the world could use.
But if you're using a clone, your clone's going to be one having the fun and not you.
No,
or you can
work.
play 2-player co-op with yourself.
Oh,
Tristan's rocking my world. Hold on. I got a sound for this.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Get out of here.
It's been so long. I was waiting to do it.
Would you guys believe me if I said that my students have that ready on their phone every time I have class?
That's amazing.
Legitly?
I can believe that.
No, legit. Like they're waiting for me to say something savage, and then they play it.
Oh my god.
That's awesome.
You're a terrible influence.
Okay, do you understand this upcoming generation at all?
Apparently not.
This is the darkest, most cynical generation that exists.
I wouldn't know.
I think
Classes derail because they talk about how dad went to the convenience store 20 years ago
I went to a party
and never came back. He said he was getting milk. He never came back.
Oh,
The milk's probably expired by now.
These are dark times indeed.
Oh my, you're killing me.
It brings me back to a party I once went to,
Where the
or
milk expired?
was brought to, I should say. They were not exactly my friends. They were my former girlfriend's friends during college, and I remember sitting there and trying to talk to them. They were all like creative writing majors and the like, so you'd think they'd be interesting people. I'm an engineer, so I'm trying to talk about creative writing and stuff. They were busy having a conversation about cat food and garbage bags.
What?
Yeah,
That's interesting.
it was a party.
That sounds like our
I just
podcast.
remember sitting there going like, I can imagine like you bring it like if you know you've got in your apartment, you know, sometimes it's like, yeah, I just moved into a new apartment and I'm just trying to get settled, that kind of thing comes up. You say, yeah, and then I got, you know, this brand of cat food that my cat doesn't like, and that's pretty much the end of that conversation. And then you could say, man, the garbage bags from that brand fall apart on me, and that's the end of that conversation. Or it should have been, but it somehow wasn't.
Isn't there a movie scene where two ladies are talking about eating cat food?
I have no idea. I know that there's an entire movie called The Room, and it's unfortunate.
Okay, so are we talking about The Room now? Is that what we're doing now?
We could, but we could or instead talk about The Disaster Artist, which is a movie about the making of The Room.
I am so ready for this.
Oh.
The movie and this conversation.
Hey, James Franco is going to be paying Tommy Wiseau.
Oh my god.
Yes, he was on an interview with Screen Junkies where he and his co-host read scenes from bad movies, but in those characters, the voices of their characters, and it kind of reminded me of the thing that we do on our podcast.
Wait, table reading.
Table reading. I don't have one ready. I'm sorry. Should I get one ready real
We had
quick?
a guest this time, and we don't have a table reading for them. I feel kind of bad.
So what we're going to do is we're going to just bring her on again in the coming year and do a table read.
Let's definitely do that.
You know what that is, Smidge? That is where
okay.
we read from a scene from a famous movie or TV show. Like a popular one, a funny one. And we change the voices that we do for the characters to be things that don't match the scene.
Cool.
Like putting
Like
Star
our
Wars
signature
characters in a
characters?
Christmas story.
Yes.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Or force
Oh,
Malachi to try to speak like Goofy and do terrible.
Oh, I'm so sorry for that, Malachi. I did not think that one through, making you be Dark Helmet as Goofy.
That's beautiful.
Tristan was Bane, but he was Kronk from Emperor's New Groove.
Oh,
Alex
no.
has played Arnold Schwarzenegger multiple times.
Wow.
Tristan has done the Joker multiple times, the Mark Hamill Joker.
I try. I definitely don't do it justice, but I have fun.
You don't do what? You don't do it what? Justice?
In Justice Gods Among Us.
So let's talk about how Smidge was in marching band.
Okay,
Oh,
I guess
wow.
that'll be the closing note there. Marching band. Let's do this. Let's march on out of here.
Oh, is that are we ending early?
Are we early?
No, we're early. She just
right.
brought it up, and then I
15
realized
minutes.
she's from Texas, which means that of course she was in marching band.
So what instrument
all
did you play?
Texans go to do marching band.
That's a thing?
It's true.
It is a thing.
Yep, every single Texan has to do marching band for 8 years.
Wow.
You either
that's
do marching
so
band or
weird.
you're in football or you're in both. That's Texas.
Yep, because,
I
Texas.
played soccer. That's a type of football.
That's not a sport.
Playing European football.
Soccer's a sport. Soccer's not a instrument. Neither is mayonnaise.
Football is mayonnaise is not an instrument either, Patrick. All right.
No, this is Patrick.
Not a Krusty Krab. Smidge, what instrument did you play in marching band?
In marching band, I played the cymbals.
I was close. I was going to say the timpani.
The
Did you have to wear earplugs?
I should have. I didn't though.
earplugs.
You took it like a champ.
I always have to.
I should have.
I did not wear them enough when I was in drumline. I'll tell you that much.
Definitely should have worn them in the stands.
What?
Is somebody going to answer the phone? Wait, does nobody else hear that?
What did Tristan just say?
Damn you, tinnitus!
So you were one of those that you had to march around in front of the snare drums, or were you in a cymbal line?
I was on the cymbal line. We were like a legit.
Awesome.
Yeah, we were like a bass line, but of cymbals. Like we had splits and everything that we did.
That's not as much of a thing these days.
I know. I used to teach drum lines, and they're slowly getting rid of that, and it makes me very upset.
It makes me so sad that, for example, drum corps aren't doing cymbal lines as much anymore, and they're switching away from G bugles, and it made me so sad.
Why would they
switching away from G bugles and going to the B flat bugles instead?
Well, B flat, you're just going with the trumpet and baritone family instead of the G bugle family.
It's true. But I mean, I think you can still have a B flat bugle that's 2-valve.
You can. It's just not as much of a thing as
a trumpet. Well, B flat instead.
It's just that G was more difficult to play, but it had the potential to be louder.
I did not realize that this was a decibel thing. This is true.
The sound itself was just bigger. Because lower is bigger.
Yeah, this is true. My dad is a big drum corps guy.
Oh yeah. Okay. Sorry for bringing up a painful memory like that.
Oh, thanks. It's okay. I forgive you.
While you're at it, why don't you give me a nice paper cut?
You said it.
I was trying to imitate your Joker.
I know.
I got it.
Yeah. So, what Smidge is missing here is we actually did a panel at RTX last year. Yeah, last year, and we did a table read of The Princess Bride. So Tristan was the Joker.
Nice.
Playing Billy Crystal's character, Miracle Max.
No, you were not Magic Mike.
Magic Max and Miracle Mike.
So are we doing a scene for Magic Mike next, and you're going to be the Joker?
I think that might be my fault.
Oh my god!
Great. We should also voice the dancing.
So Alex is going to be Caboose. Dancing.
Hip thrust.
Dancing time.
Bring it around town.
Right on your right foot. Don't forget it.
Okay, Smidge, are you going to watch... Did you watch the Justice League yet?
Yes, I did. I went... Did I go opening night? Or the day after? But I went very, very soon after it came out. It was so cool. I loved it.
There is exactly one reason I want to see that film, and it's Cyborg, because he's one of my favorites.
I like him in Teen Titans Go.
He was pretty cool. You know, it was okay.
That's hurtful.
Oh no! I haven't seen it yet, and all I know is that I had a friend who did go see it. I had no idea. They rarely communicate with me. All of a sudden, my phone started blowing up because they were complaining about the film.
Is it Matthew?
They're very critical. He and I are very critical of anything movie, comic book related because they never get it right. So we always have lots to say. And all of a sudden, my phone's just blowing up. They did this. This guy's doing this. It's just like, I'm like, okay. I'll see it. It's okay. It's okay. Just
deep breath.
Just have a snack. Just have a snack and go to sleep. Just pretend like you're sleeping.
Gonna give him a little juice box.
Here's a juice box. Here's your blanket.
Have you guys seen the series of? We're gonna come back to this, but embrace the tangent and all that. Have you guys seen the series of videos on YouTube called "Tom Holland is an A-hole"?
No.
I've heard of them.
It's funny.
So he's the current Spider-Man, and he's awesome. Well, there was this thing with his not co-host. That's what I have.
Star?
His co-stars when he was on Civil War, where they kept teasing him, and they would go to interviews, especially the guy who plays Falcon, would go on interviews and talk about how he's this little a-hole and he has to get his juice box every hour, and he's got handlers and he's privileged and all of this. And every interview, he's like, he's a problem, man. He's a problem. Every hour he's got to have his juice box.
I want a juice box on the hour.
Oh my god.
Yes. And then we get nap time.
Alex, if you don't get the PA position for any of the RT staff, be my PA. And bring me a juice box.
If I do get the PA, I will certainly get a juice box for the person I'm PAing for every hour.
As long as you make them understand that nap time comes before pants time,
not after.
Not after.
Okay.
Although I will say they're probably allowed to just make up their own times.
I think these people are just making up times. Before we start quoting Red versus Blue, so back up to Justice League.
That was like 3 tangents that we went on.
I like Red versus Blue, guys. Okay, spoiler alert. Okay,
spoiler alert.
So Justice League looks like a lot of fun because they're not trying to take it too seriously anymore, and they want it to be fun, like maybe a comic book movie perhaps could be. Okay. It's mind shattering, isn't it? Just kind of like the Thor movie. It was just like, this is a comic book movie. Let's have some fun. Like the imagery in the trailer of Aquaman riding on the Batmobile, I'm like, yes, please, more of this.
That was really fun.
Tell us all about it.
Well, they definitely tried to steer away from the super dark, super like mysterious side that DC usually goes for. And I guess they probably are taking a bit from Marvel just because they've been so much more successful with the movies. And so they wanted to take from that, and people love the fact that Marvel movies are hilarious, like especially Guardians and all those Spider-Man movies.
Guardians.
So good though. And
they're other than Captain America, The Winter Soldier, those are probably my 2 favorite movies, the Guardians.
Mm-hmm. They're fun. Gosh, and they're just done so artistically well. Like I love the second one, just the intro of it, the way they have the camera just following Groot. It was so cool.
Yeah. And they have such a, because they're going and using like old like music from the past, the soundtrack is always so amazing.
Yep. Because people love nostalgia, and that's probably why DC threw in a few of the songs that they put in.
Mm-hmm. Probably, yeah. They took a page from their book.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see Justice League though yet because I haven't seen Wonder Woman, and I want to see that first.
Same. I need to watch Wonder Woman, and it's just real hard when you've got 2 kids and you're teaching.
I could imagine.
All I have is hearsay. So it's like I want to say what I've heard, but it's also like I don't want to say what I've heard because it could color people's opinion going in, and I don't have a leg to stand on critically since I haven't seen it myself.
What's your excuse?
What's my excuse for not seeing it?
Yeah.
I'm really bad about going to the theater to watch things if I don't have somebody who's like, hey, let's go to the theater together and watch this movie. I don't go to the theater alone most of the time.
Yeah, I don't do that either.
Hey, Tristan.
Yes?
I can think of someone you should go to the movies with. Someone very close to you.
Is it Alex?
No.
No, Malachi's closer to you than me.
Yeah, I'm in Malachi.
Malachi's still a 4-hour drive away.
How far away am I in St. Louis, Missouri?
8?
8? I doubt it because it takes 6 hours for me to get from St. Louis to pretty much like just past Nashville, Tennessee.
Why are you driving south?
Because my aunt lives there, so I visit her every now and then. Drive south? The only other place I go other than Kansas City is Austin, Texas, and that's south.
But you were talking about going to New York, and you're like, yes, but it's already 6 hours to go to Nashville. I'm like, why is that relevant?
I'm just saying because it takes that long to get there, and Nashville, I'm pretty sure, is a lot shorter than getting to Connecticut.
You guys and complaining about long drives. You should try living in Texas.
I did that.
Ugh.
You did try it.
I gave it a test drive, and wasn't a good
Tristan. Sorry it didn't work out.
Yeah, well,
it's just this thing between us is we got to talk. Okay.
Between us, like the whole country.
Yes, this whole thing between us, it's just not working out. You need to come to me. So on that note, I don't know what to do with this episode now.
And we are coming to the end of the podcast.
Yeah, that's great. Smidge has been an excellent guest. She's been very well behaved.
She somehow put up with us. I don't know how.
Survived.
Everyone go and support Colossal Smidgen on Patreon, Instagram, Facebook, and I think that's it.
Oh, and Twitch.
And Twitch, yes. You do Switch stream. Yeah.
Sometimes I'm not good at it, but I want to.
No, I've enjoyed what I've seen, and I mean, a lot of what you do on social media is leagues ahead of other people because you actually acknowledge the people that want to support you, and that's huge. Like even just reading the Twitch chat is something that a lot of streamers just don't really do.
I am. It's right there.
It's right there.
It's right there on my other screen when I'm playing something that's on the not that screen, and
well, that's true.
I get involved in what I'm doing, and then I go, oh shit.
Got, there are people.
I've got messages that are 12 minutes old. I'm sure they're no, they're not there anymore.
Tristan can't be arsed.
I cannot.
You are all out of arses.
I'm all out of arses to give.
All right, that is it for this episode, I guess.
Signing off.
Thanks for listening, everyone who's listening, and we hope to have Colossal Smidgen on in the future.
My God, yes!
We hope you had fun.
We're all going to go down to Florida for a convention.
Yay!
We are looking to... Oh, ConCon. We need to create ConCon, don't we?
Yeah, we need to make ConCon a thing.
Yeah.
It's like LineCon and...
Oh, yeah.
Con and...
Yeah, ConCon is like, what, LineCon and I think it was just LineCon, wasn't it?
It might have just been LineCon. I was trying to sell it as something so much better. I don't know. I might have been lying.
We talk about ConCon a lot, but ConCon is where you experience the essence of every convention that exists. Each panel you go to is a bite-sized version of every convention.
What?
So for the Comic-Con version of ConCon, you stand in line for 3 hours and you see Stan Lee.
Yes!
From like really far away.
I love line.
Really far away.
He's going to a coffee shop across town, but you can see him. And it's pretty neat.
Yeah, so that's the idea there. All right, everyone, good night. Thanks for coming. It's been fun. This has been Blairful Podcast.
Good night.
Bye, y'all.
Hashtag goodbye.
Goodbye.
Good night, Caboose. The signature ending.
Signature ending. It has to happen.
Until the Caboose says goodbye.
Thanks to the following patrons for making this video possible. Support us at patreon.com/player4podcast.